never saw your leaving coming my way. Don't have a clue why you left or where you're headed. Not hearing from you one time since that day. Ain't at all what I expected, but I got the message. I got the message when you spun your tires and flung rocks all over the front lawn. And I got the message when I saw the finger you held out the window driving off. You didn't leave a note, and if you called, I didn't get it. Baby, I got the message. That communication is what brought us here. Yeah, the way it's all turned out, girl, I regret it. What you've been feeling in your heart is what I never got to hear. Even though you never said it, honey, I got the message. I got the message when I saw you kick my dog, the one you said you'd always love. And I got the message when I found the picture of us on the floor that you'd ripped up. You didn't leave a note, and if you called, I didn't get it. Baby, I got the message. You didn't have to spell it out to make it understood, 'cause it's loud and clear that you ain't here and that you're gone for good. Yeah, I got the message soon as I got home, and every darn thing you owned was in your car. And I got the message when the neighbor saw you flip me the bird as you drove off. You didn't leave a note, you never called, I'll just forget it. Baby, I got the message. Baby, I got the message. Tell me twice.
All right.
This is a song that I wrote for my great grandpa. He's 93, and he taught me how to play. Taught me how to play music. He invested a lot of time in me. He was my buddy when I was growing up, and I went back to visit him about a year ago, and we got out and played some, and on the way back from this trip, I ended up starting the process of writing this song. 1919 was the year my great-granddaddy was born. I didn't know just how lucky I was to spend evenings with him on his porch and listen as he talked about the coal mines, barely bringing home $1 a day. How I loved it when he recalled them old times. I was captured by the things he had to say. My perspective began when he was an old man. Thanks to him, it's so much broader now. Like a sponge, I soaked up the stories he told, and in my heart I'm carrying his torch now. 'Cause he's lived his life. Who I've become is what he'll leave behind. Summer days he was holding to his guitar and my attention span. And when he sang them old gospel tunes, I knew I wanted to be just like him. The early 40s is when he and Mary married, over 4 decades before I came along. That hill off Sandy Ridge is where she's buried. His heart breaks each time his mind finds out she's gone. My perspective began when he was an old man. Thanks to him, it's so much broader now. Like a sponge, I soaked up the stories he told, and in my heart I'm carrying his torch now. 'Cause he's lived his life. Who I've become is what he'll leave behind. It's hard to picture him when he was just my age, like that faded photograph testifies. Only looking past his trembling hands and hair that's gray, I still see that fighting spirit in his eyes. My perspective began when he was an old man. He'll always be a legend to me. And my children will know the stories he told as I try to carry on his legacy. 'Cause he's lived his life. Who they become is what he'll leave behind. It's what he'll leave behind. My perspective began when he was an old man. Sitting in my chair after one of those days, at the TV I stare. I don't have much to say. She'll be sleeping by the time I try to hold her. It occurs to me, the woman of my dreams gets my leftovers. I've been trying to make ends meet. It's all I know to do. She's been missing me, and I miss her, to tell the truth. I'd like to think I'll make it up as we grow older, but nowadays she gives and all she takes are my leftovers. All I have is what's left over from a 9-hour shift. Heaven knows where we'd be if they handed me that pink slip. I get home, grab a bite, feed the dogs, work on the mower. In the midst, all she ever gets are my leftovers. I see the disappointment she hides in her eyes each time I let distractions take away my mind. She deserves more attention than I show her, but she stays true and looks forward to my leftovers. All I have is what's left over from a 9-hour shift. Heaven knows where we'd be if they handed me that pink slip. Raising kids and busy weekends, and grandma's coming over. In the midst, all she ever gets are my leftovers. Now the sun is setting low, like it always does, but this one's gonna be different between us. Instead of good intentions, I'm gonna show her what I'm living for. Tonight she's getting more than my leftovers. It's her I'm living for. Tonight she's getting more than my leftovers. thinking about stuff like that one day, and I wrote this one. When did a child falling down, learning to get up off the ground, become a bad thing? When did growing from defeat, while only one gets a trophy, become a bad thing? Earning everything you get with your two hands, striving to be your own self-made man. When did that become such a bad thing? Against the grain, moving on in spite of pain, become a bad thing? When did relying on ourselves, having the freedom to fail, become a bad thing? Going hunting with my gun to feed my own family, being too old-fashioned like my grandpa used to be. When did that become such a bad thing? The things we used to say were common sense are now becoming rare. Will our children overcome when life ain't fair? 'Cause life ain't fair. When did having a set of rules and thanking Jesus at school become a bad thing? When did trying to work it out simply because you said the vows become a bad thing? Being willing to stand and fight for what you believe, one nation under God with liberty. When did that become such a bad thing? How can it be a bad thing when it's not a bad thing? I don't want to offend them. This is about a junior that I know. Well, Junior, you're my best friend. You know all that we've been through. So I really need to sit down and just have a little talk with you about the lady I've been seeing. 'Cause man, she really turns me on. Well, could we still be friends if I was going out with your mom? I know that you think I'm joking, but to tell the truth, I'm not. You ought to see the diamond ring that I just bought. I know it's really love, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I hope that you'll forgive me and you'll still be my best friend. Now that your mom is going out with me, she swears that we are meant to be. I hope that you're okay with this. You look a little mad, but I'll be the father you never had. There's no reason why we cannot get along. So who's your daddy now that I'm going out with your mom? Alright. That's not even the sick part. This has been going on since I was just 14. You had the hottest mom, I swear, that I had ever ever seen. I guess you never wondered why I always spent the night. It was just so I could see her again and get that big kiss goodnight. And now your mom, she's going out with me. She sure is. It's always been my fantasy. I hope that you're okay with this, man. You still look a little mad, but I'll be the father you never had. There's no reason why we cannot get along. So who's your daddy now that I'm going out with your mom? Now we've always told each other everything, and friend, I never wanted that to change. But I'll have to be more careful what I tell you from now on. You know, I just don't feel right telling you how great she looks with just my t-shirt on. Yeah, to tell you things like that would just be plain wrong. So I'll try to hold back on the fun that I'm having with your mom. Yeah, who's your daddy now that I'm going out with your mom?